Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, so I've been playing Deadlock like crazy lately, and I'm just kind of getting addicted to it. So I started looking up ways that I can get better at the game, and I found this really interesting video. It's by Fred the Finch. I'll put it up on the screen somewhere. I don't know. And basically all it is just a jungling strat that you do after laning phase, and you essentially are just making sure that you're constantly farming the jungle. But the route that he takes, I think, is really efficient, and it makes a lot of sense to me. So I thought I'd share it because the first time I tried it, I actually went insane. I popped off in the game, and I've been like spamming it a little more, and it still works. As you get into the like higher MMR lobbies, though, you'll start noticing that other people know about how valuable the jungle camps are. So it's a little more like you got to fight over the camps. But yeah, I just thought I would share this with people who are kind of new to Deadlock or new to MOBAs in general. I'll do like a quick walkthrough on the minimap to kind of show where to go, but and then I'll like show my playthrough of the first game that I tried it on. And just to let you know, this was the first time I tried it, and it actually worked really well. Like I was shocked how well it worked. And it's a lot of fun though, because you get tons of souls, and then like nobody like even knows you're around because you're just like farming the whole time. And then by the time you actually show up to some team fights, you just do crazy damage, and people just get taken off guard. So if you want to start getting into those like higher MMR games, definitely try this out. I know that the higher elo players abuse this strat a lot too, but I'll show you the route that I take. It's really good. And also there's a couple things I'll note like as we're going through the video. But yeah, give it a shot. All the best players are doing this strat. Definitely take advantage of it before everybody finds out about it. And jungle camps are even harder to get, so check it out. Okay guys, so once 10 minutes comes up in the game, you can start the strat. You technically could start it a little bit before, but I don't recommend it because some of the camps won't be up. And once the first towers are gone, the laning phase is technically over. So you're going to want to start your jungle farming at 10 minutes into the game. This is just a bot game, so I'm not really worried about any CS or anything, obviously. And I'm just kind of trying to walk you guys through this. So you start with this camp right here, and then you go over here. And then you take these guys right here, all these three little guys, and then you keep going. And then you take these two guys and you punch this thing. Gives a good amount of souls right there. And then you continue your way. You hit this thing right here. And this whole time, you want to keep an eye on your wave. Obviously, in this, I'm not really caring because it's just a bot game. But you want to be tethered to your wave. So if you can, you want to like try to push out your wave so that you can make this trip without losing too many minions from your lane. So then you hit this one right here, and then you continue. And a lot of times people don't farm this stuff, so it's usually free reign, especially in lower MMR. Even in higher MMR, I feel like early game people don't do it. So then you come over here, and don't forget to take these boxes as well. They usually have some good stuff in them. Might as well like hit them on your way and collect some extra little buffs and stuff. And then you're gonna come up through here, and you're gonna take all these scamps. And then you're going to come over here. You're going to walk up here. And you're going to take all these. And then once you're done with all those, you're going to hop on this zip line. And you're going to head to this spot right here. And you're going to take these guys. From here, you can do a couple different things. Look, okay, you can come right back to your wave. And you can farm your wave. Or you can go back to the base and buy some items. I would actually recommend trying as often as you can to use the middle shop down here. So what I would do probably is I would just cut through here. If you continue to walk through here, you can get the whole left side of the map next. So essentially you're going to do the whole right side of the map, and then you're going to come through here. And this is obviously if you're in this lane. So you want to adapt it accordingly to whatever lane you're in. And so then you buy your items here and you continue on your way, and you get all these boxes down here. All these boxes, boom, boom, boom. And then you come up top up here. You take these camps if they're there. I mean, a lot of times people take these ones. And then you take these ones. And then you go down in here. And you take all these guys down in here. And then you're going to walk over here. And you take these guys. And then you come up here, and you kill this guy, and you take both these things, And then you come up to the top, break these boxes, and then you take these guys, and then you can pretty much reset from there. Okay, so after you do one pass through, you should have enough money to buy some of your higher tier items, at least the 3K items. So consider which items you're gonna buy, because you want these items to help you farm the tier 3 camps. So the next part of the farming strat is gonna be spamming some of those tier 3 camps, and that's when you can start making a lot of money and really start getting to your late game build. My whole goal when I do this is to rush some of my key items and then look for team fights and objectives. So my main goal is I want to get Phantom Strike, and if possible get Crippling Headshot. So for your heroes it'll be something different, but yeah, I essentially just farm the jungle the whole time until I get those key items that are going to help me stomp those team fights and help my team out a lot with objectives and stuff after that point. But until then, I'm pretty much hidden in the jungle, just farming jungle camps and trying to get those key items. Okay, so I thought I'd just hop into some real gameplay of this, just so you guys can see firsthand like how it would look in a real scenario, and maybe get some other extra ideas on how to implement it into your games. This is the first game that I tried using this strategy, and so my method isn't like perfected yet or anything like that, but you can get a general idea of the pathing I choose and the reasons why I chose them, and I'll try to explain a little bit why I chose to path the way I did here. And as you can see, this was the first time I left my lane, and I was already up by a lot, so I actually had a really good laning phase. I was versing the phase, I keep calling her phase, the haze, and I'm the dynamo, as you can tell, obviously. So I have 7k, and she had like 2.3k when we left lane. And anyway, so I was able to get my tower, my first tower, my guardian, and then I was able to make a gank on that other lane. I think it was a green lane there. Was it green? Yeah, I think so. And then I forgot about this spot up here, which I didn't mention in the little walkthrough. So yeah, definitely take those camps if you can. Notice how I avoided the tier 3 guy though. It's just at this point in the game, I don't have good enough items to burn through that guy very well. And anyway, so here you can see this is the beginning of our guide right here. We did that camp, and then we keep running along over here. Nice thing is you can stop by the store if you want to buy some stuff. So that's what I did. I just got some extra items, and that's going to help a lot with our farming to try to kill those camps faster. The faster, the better. Yeah, and so you can see it's the same exact path that I showed in the guide, and it works great. Nobody ever takes these camps, at least in lower elo. So I've slowly been climbing up the ranks recently, and so I do notice that people take more camps in some of the higher MMR games. But to be honest, it's not that crazy. And so shout out to Fred the Finch for showing the strat. I don't know why I skipped there. Oh yeah, I skipped that camp there in the little tutorial we did before. I hit that camp, but in this situation, everything's going to be situational. So this situation, we looked and at the minimap, and we saw that these guys were pretty close and they were fighting. So the awesome part about this farming method is that I have the luxury of just leaving my camps for a second, or leaving the farming route for a second, just to go help out some people. And if it's not going to take too long, it's definitely worth helping out your teammates when you can. But obviously, you want to be very careful not to get caught up in some of these big chases. That's one thing that's very interesting about Deadlock is there's some crazy chasing that can happen because of everybody's abilities. I've experienced running like all the way across the map, just chasing someone down, and it's fun and it's addicting. But the whole goal of this method is to get ahead so that you can win the games and climb in your MMR. So anyway, we get back on the farming route as soon as we can, and that's the key here. You want to go right back to farming as soon as you're done with any sort of objectives or any sort of team fights. And as you can see here, you want to take a look at the minimap here. My wave and blue, I think someone did end up shoving it a little bit more, but my wave and blue is still not bounced back. And we have been like kind of out of our lane for quite a while. And that'll happen though too when you're out there, when you're out here farming these camps, is that you will potentially give up some of your farm because your teammates will end up pushing out your waves as well. And that's fine. That's totally fine. Everybody they get more gold. But what's really great is that your team is actually being a lot more efficient because these camps are getting taken up, and you guys are actually utilizing the most out of your out of your resources. So you mean potentially if there's big waves crashing near your towers, you could definitely go and kind of soak them up with your teammates there, but be aware that you're not getting the full amount for those of souls for those minions, and you're splitting them with your teammates. So you be really cautious about that. Okay, so here you can see instead of me continuing on my path, I saw that there was an opportunity to go in and do a little team fighting. Obviously, at this point, I had such a lead coming out of laning phase that I was actually able to kill those guys really fast. And that's one thing that you should definitely keep note of. Not all games are going to be the same. Every game is going to be different. So you want to be able to adapt to whatever situation you're in. And with this situation, I was ahead. So you want to make sure that you're using your lead and capitalizing on the advantage that you created for yourself in the early game, and not just continuing to farm and getting too like laser focused on your route. Obviously, if I was behind and I wasn't doing too well, I would definitely try to avoid getting involved in team fights. You might have a lot of your teammates and stuff kind of nagging at you saying, where are you, why aren't you fighting? But with MOBAs, you really have to understand that if you're behind in souls or gold, that means you're behind in items. And if you're behind in items, then you're not going to be able to win those team fights as easily. Yes, you can win team fights when you're behind. It's possible. But the most sure way of winning them is going to be by you having some sort of gold advantage. And that is the true way to play a MOBA. For those of you guys who have played other MOBAs and have played hyper carries or scaling champions or characters, you understand how important it is to get your farm in. And I think that I'm not sure with every character. Dynamo definitely feels good doing this method, but in general, I feel like the meta of this game right now really rewards people who are able to farm well. And I know that sounds obvious, but I feel like in other MOBAs, I personally came from League of Legends. I played mid lane. I peaked at Diamond 2. So I have a good idea for how, other MOBAs work. But I feel like there was alternate strats that you could use, like in League, that weren't so farm intensive. A lot of the methods that I played Annie mid lane a lot, and so a lot of my job was facilitating and just being an extra person in team fights to get that extra CC and all that. But in this game, it doesn't feel as beneficial to show up to something unless you actually have a good lead. And so, in my opinion, it's so much more important in Deadlock to farm. And if you haven't played scaling champions, you might not be as comfortable just continuously farming and ignoring your team. But it is so important that you just completely block everybody out, focus on your farm, and then show up in the late game to essentially cash in all your hard work. So don't be afraid to just put your head down and just farm it up for a good while after laning phase. Obviously, don't just farm into infinity. Eventually, you do need to show up, obviously, and use that advantage that you created for yourself. For me, I generally go for a couple of my core items, or at least what I feel are my core items. For me, on Dynamo, Phantom Strike and Crippling Headshot. And if I'm it's extremely far ahead, Siphon Bullets. But you don't want to keep farming to the point where your base is getting taken down. You want to make sure that you are also keeping an eye on your lane states and making sure that you're not just giving up objectives for free. So it does get a little bit harder. I definitely can see this method being harder playing from behind. In balancing when you should show up to fights and when it's fine to keep farming and not get involved. But as you do it, you'll kind of get the idea for when to show up and when it's okay to leave. I didn't show it very well in this video, but in League, it's a similar concept. I always like to have this feeling of that I'm tethered to my lane. And when I say I'm tethered to my lane, I mean that if there's a wave crashing at my turret, I need to be there before it hits my tower. So not only do I want to make sure I get every last CS from my my wave, but I also want to make sure that my tower doesn't take very much damage. Now, you can also mess around with being more greedy, I guess you could say, and just focusing on the jungle and not caring about if you lose your towers. But obviously, towers will give the enemy gold, so keep that in mind. I will say this game in particular, everything worked out really well for me because my team was very on top of catching the waves themselves, and so I was given pretty much all the jungle to myself. And here and there I was able to catch a couple waves. I think right here you can kind of see on the mini map that there's a big wave coming into yellow, and so I have my eye on that for sure, and I'm just making sure that as it's building up, I'm continuing to farm on my way over there, but I don't want it to crash. I don't want my tower to take damage, and I don't want my tower to kill the minions. So just the more you play, the more you'll get better at just the timing of everything. For obviously, this is more for those people who have not played MOBAs before. At this point in the game, I'm really far ahead, and I don't think Bebop realized how much souls and items I had. As you can see, he's at 13k. I'm at 21k. Is that what it says? Yes, 21k. So that's the fun part about this method, is that you pretty much just go into the shadows for 10 minutes after laning phase, and you're just farming, and then by the time you emerge, you are very fed and you do a lot of damage, so people kind of don't expect that. For me personally, I have a really hard time not getting baited into team fights and just sticking to my jungle farming, but trust me, it'll pay off. So just be stubborn and stick to those jungle camps, and it's crazy. The amount of things you can do with some souls in your pocket is crazy. So it looks like here now I am moving over towards the tier 3 camps. I'm pretty sure I go over and kill these guys. And let's see. Yeah, okay, so look, I'm going to kill these guys. And this is one part that I didn't show in the little tutorial in the beginning. Because I don't know why I didn't show it, but here you can see it. You kill these guys, and what's awesome about this camp right here is there's a teleporter that I'm pretty sure I take here, and it takes you literally to the opposite side of the map. As you can see on the mini map, I'm on the left side, and if I go through this teleporter, it'll bring me all the way to the right side. So check it out right here, boom, and then you get to another set of tier 3 camps. If you take both these camps, that's a lot of gold. That's a lot of gold. I think that in this situation, see, everything's situational. In this situation, I saw there's a wave up here, so rather than getting those camps right away, I just decided to make sure I could soak up some of these creeps right there, and then because I know that I can just come back for those bigger camps later. Okay, so if you take a look at the mini map right here, looks like my team is pushing into the enemy base, and in a lot of other circumstances, I might feel inclined to go show up and try to help them. But if you take a look at the gold difference or soul difference, you'll notice that we only have a 6k or 7k gold lead. It's not very much. And on top of that, I'm the one with the most gold in our team. So our team really should be playing around me, if anything. If they're trying to win these fights. Obviously, they're not going to catch me, though, because I've just been farming. But we are getting pretty close to where I'm going to start feeling comfortable fighting. And you'll see, once we start fighting, we start doing some crazy damage. One thing to note, though, is that there is going to be a lot of pressure on me because I do have so much of the gold on our team. So I really got to be able to step up to the plate once we finally do fight, and not make any dumb mistakes and throw by dying or something like that. Okay, so you can see I got 10.7k, but I'm still farming. I don't know, maybe I should have gone back and spent my money, I'm not sure, but it looks like I'm just gonna push out the waves one last time, and then I'm gonna hit the shop, and I should be pretty close to my final build. Okay, so I'm pretty sure after this I go and buy Phantom Strike, and then I start getting involved in some team fights. So I'm just gonna skip forward to the next team fight. Okay, so here we are approaching this team fight. Yes, I just bought Phantom Strike, and I'm looking to fight. And so here you'll be able to kind of see, look how much damage we're doing. And obviously, this is just a dynamo version of this. If you played a different character, you might even be able to do some crazier damage. But this fight was funny. Funny enough, this fight was pretty close. I was able to use the Shadow Veil thingy to get a flank on that guy and play this fight from pretty low HP. But yeah, no, we were able to just stomp people as soon as we got that item. The scary part that you got to be careful of, though, is You definitely don't want to go into some of these fights and then just die. If you keep doing that, obviously you're gonna all your farming is kind of be for nothing. But luckily enough, in this situation, I'm so far ahead. Look at that, 30k souls. Who's the highest on their team? Like 22k right there. Yeah, that's just crazy. So I think at this point, I start really pushing for some objectives. I noticed that I'm pretty close to my to another big item. I have 5.7k right now, so it looks like I just go to the beginning of my farming route, and I don't think I do the full route this time. Do I do it again? I might do it again, but yeah, you could, if you wanted to, do the whole route again and get some even crazier items. It just depends on the situation and how long the game's going, but because we have such an advantage, I don't need to stall this game out. If I really care about winning, then I really should just um, capitalize on what advantage I have already and go from there. And we really don't want to give them any opportunity to get back in the game. MOBAs are very much kick them while they're down type of game. You really want to not give them even a sliver to get back in the game. So take advantage of your lead. Take advantage of your lead. Don't just farm for nothing. Don't just farm just to go and get more farm. Like, you got to use it. So I would say even at this point in the game right now, if I kind of stray away and start doing some more farming, it might even be considered troll because of how big of the lead we have. Yeah, this is the point in the game. It's time to end the game. So as you can see, I do start getting involved in some of these fights, and also you can see I use Phantom Strike whenever I can now, and that was really the main core item for myself because it's a gap closer and it allows me to get in their face and get these kills so that we can start snowballing. And obviously the whole goal is you get strong, you use your strength to get some kills, and you use the kills to get objectives, and that's how you win these games. So anyways, looks like I'm just pushing out some waves here. This right here now is purely just for utility. It's not that wasn't for farming. I think I was just trying to push out the wave. And wow, look, luckily enough, while we were doing all the farming, our team got a shrine, so we have all 4 of our flex slots open, which is just incredible. Here we are on a max build, and this is where I really start pushing their base. Obviously, max build, it's, you know, not necessarily full max build in one sense, because I really could probably find some more expensive items that I could have, but I have everything I need in order to win this game, and on top of that, a huge lead. So you might have noticed I went and got that camp there, that jungle camp there. I probably shouldn't have done that, to be honest. I mean, it's not too big of a nitpick, but I really should just be only pushing these waves and really trying to put some pressure on these guys and use that advantage. So looks like I did end up continuing to push, but I did notice that my team is not nearby. So instead of getting into their base, I went for a team fight. I knew I had my ult up. I knew I had my Phantom Strike up. I was ready to look for some more action, and I think we do find some here. So let's see. She looks like she's running away from something. I'm pretty sure she was. And our team, I thought they were converging here. So this was a mistake on my part, which could have been really bad if these players were able to take more advantage of me. But I'm so far ahead that they barely did any damage to me when I was point blank. Obviously, now I take that back. Never mind. I'm pretty sure actually I die here. Never mind. So, so this was kind of a throw. So you can see it's pretty easy to throw in these types of scenarios. And the truth is, I should have waited for my team to be converged around it, but I didn't realize that my team wasn't even anywhere nearby. So that was definitely a throw by me, but luckily enough, my team picks up the ball and we continue pushing forward. So look, right here, I see that there's a big team fight on blue right here, and I'm a little nervous because in some situations, well, I know for one, I should be there to some degree, but I think I just figured might as well push out this wave, especially since I don't have ult right now. And that way, once we do start cracking into their base, we can get some extra pressure from that yellow wave. now that I got that wave going, I decided to come show up to this fight and see if we can make something happen. I think I also noticed that they had killed 2 or 3 of their players, so this is the perfect time to try to end the game. What you'll see is it just turns into this big fiesta, and we just continuously kill them as they come back up. So now we're in deep, and we're just trying to end the game, but obviously it can be hard sometimes because this game is generally still early on, and so the timers aren't that crazy. What are we doing here? It looks like, oh, I'm trying to shoot that, but I should be going for the other shrine. Oh, I think, yeah, I noticed that our team is starting to back out here. I guess they wanted to get some of the other towers, but, and that's fine, you know, might as well crack open their whole base. But I really wanted to get this shrine, and I think everybody was a lot more afraid than I was. Obviously, I had such a lead that I wasn't too afraid. And so they're playing a little more cautious, which is good on them. You know, you got to play with whatever type of lead you have. So you can see I'm just shredding through people. It's kind of crazy. Oh, that was pretty nice. I was able to dodge her ult with my second ability. Had a nice little ulti on those two. And we continue to destroy their base. So here, we actually didn't end up finishing the game. And we had to come back a second time. So I'm just going to probably skip forward to that. But yeah, you can see like we're literally diving them in their base and everything. We had such a good lead. So this strat, incredible. I'm going to keep trying to use it. I'm going to keep trying to iron it out and make it better. But let me know what you guys think. I definitely want to keep adapting it. And I want to know what you guys... if you guys have any other similar ideas or thoughts on how to perfect this strat even more. And again, big shout out to Fred the Finch. Thank you for the video on this. And I'll be sure to leave your video in the description if you guys want to go check that video out. He's a high MMR Yamato player, so definitely go give that video a watch. And subscribe, guys. I'm going to be uploading more meta strategies and other Deadlock content as well. So give this strat a shot. Hopefully it'll help you guys win a bunch more games. And that's it for this video. So peace!